Hi, my name's Scott and I've had the extreme pleasure of being allowed to build a BearCreeks iCatcher. Okay, so I thought the first thing we'd do is have a quick look and see what we get in the kit. It comes fully cabled wiring loom, obviously with this is your LED lights controllers, on off switch, recharging port and a wiring loom for the hoppers. And then you have your receiver unit, one antenna. These are the electromagnets for the hoppers, another electromagnet for the bait release, two very sturdy motors, coincidentally cabled red and yellow. The reason for that will become very apparent shortly. Then we have the brain box, red and yellow for our motors, and each plug on the brain box is a different size, so you cannot get your plug and play incorrect, and a trim control. In the next bag is the cover for the front of the boat that will go over the brain box, the battery covers, and the rubber gaskets to ensure that no water gets into the hull. Then we have a bag of cable ties and screws, obviously to put the boat together, two very well made and large weed guards, the main rubber seal to seal the top and bottom of the hull together, so no nasty gasket paste needed, a large light for the front of the boat, and two red lights for the rear of the boat. On top of that we have the divider panel so that you can create two hoppers if you wish to. I'll show you how it works later when we build the boat. The hoppers, obviously with their magnets on to interact with the electromagnetic droppers, and the bait boat handle. So next we can start to build. I've built a few bait boats over the year and I'm thinking that this is going to be a pretty straightforward, easy job. All very well labelled, all very well laid out. I thought what we'd do was we'd start in the bottom of the hull, and I shall put the brain box, the motors, etc. in, and once that's fitted then we can come back and I'll take some more pictures. I put some components in, as I said I would do. It was so much easier than I thought that it would be, because it's all plug and play. So what we'll do is we'll have a look around the bottom of the hull and then the upper of the hull and go through the components and how easy they were to fit, and from there basically all that's left to do is to put the seals in, and then we're going to go water testing. Here we've got the brain box, which we saw earlier, with it's very different plugs for each piece that will plug into it. They're all a different size, they're all a different shape, so we can't make a mistake and put the wrong plug into the wrong connector. Red and yellow runs to our motors, which we've also fitted now. They have a nice soft damp proofing piece around them to stop vibration and noise into the motor itself. You've got the hoppers themselves, which work on the electromagnets that we talked about before. Two for each side. They're nice and strong, actually quite difficult to open, so they're not going to fall open while you're driving the boat. Then at the rear of the boat we've got the hook release, which runs from underneath. It's also on an electromagnet system. The other plugs, there's nothing in at the moment, will be filled fairly shortly with the upper of the hull. One other thing that I wanted to note is both motors rotate in a positive direction, and as such you have a left-handed thread and a right-handed thread on the screws. When fitting the right hand side, if you look on the propeller, there's a small plus on it. That's the right hand side. Should you ever have a problem fitting them and you're not sure which is right and which is left, it's fairly simple. Fit it and run the motor, and if it blows at you like a fan when you're in a forward direction, then you've got them the right way round. The one cable here that is longer and sticking out at the front is the cable that will connect to our searchlight on the front of the boat. Let's move on to the top. We've got the carrying handle which are fitted. it's just 2 screws and 2 screws. You can slot her away so it's not in the way while you're driving. You could even bend it down as much as that. It's a nice stable handle. It's actually quite ergonomic and fits well in the hand. Then we have the 2 driving lights on the front, the searchlight on the front. Eventually the cover will come on here, again with a rubber seal to stop the ingress of water and not having to muck about with sealant and dirty stuff. Then we have the battery covers themselves, which sit on magnets and also have a rubber seal inside. The magnets are brilliant. The other boats that I've built, you have to glue the magnets in place. These magnets come with a screw thread inside them, top and bottom, and you'll hear it now. When you pull them back, they make a clack. No chance of them coming off, no chance of water ingress. On-off switch, dead simple to fit. That's the antenna for the receiver for the boat. Rear lights, there's an LED that sits behind here, and then these 3 LEDs that sit on the rear of the boat are for showing you the battery power, and they work very much on the traffic light type system. It's all quite simple inside. Here we have our main power cable, which will obviously plug to the brain box. Then we have the 2 cables which will connect to our batteries. Here we have the main wiring loom for the LED lights, and obviously that plugs into its own spot within the brain box. Different size plug like everything else, and that's a complete wiring loom of its own. Comes with all the LED lights attached. Your 2 driving lights, which are here and here. The rear lights, the nice red ones. There's the 3 for your battery indicator. All very simple. Then we have the receiver unit for the remote control. And here is an extra cable which will come into play later. And this is a power cable for a fish finder, which we will fit at some point in the future. Everything was very simple to fit. Everything has its place. Every hole is drilled for you. All you simply have to do is try and create a halfway clean and tidy wiring loom within the boat, which is very simply done using these sticky back pads and zip ties. As you can see also here, the same as in the top of the hole, there's a insert where you can put a gasket in, and again, no need for mucky, horrible sealant. Pretty much the next thing we're going to do is put it together and take it to the water.